If you put a $100 bill in a safe back in 1990 and left it there until today, you didn't really save $100. You actually lost about 60% of your wealth. While the paper still says 100, its ability to buy food, fuel, and housing has been quietly eroded over time. This is inflation, and this is what I call the cost of inaction. In the world of finance, playing it safe is often the riskiest move you can make. Most people are afraid of the stock market because they see it as a gamble. But as a finance professional, I see the real gamble as doing nothing. Today, I'm going to show you how a single $100 bill can either slowly fade away in a bank account or grow into nearly $2,000. We are not chasing moonshots, and we are not talking about meme stocks. We are talking about a system that has worked for more than a century. If you have ever felt like you don't have enough to start or that the market is somehow rigged, pay close attention. I'm going to show you how to turn time into your most productive employee. To beat inflation, we need an engine, not luck and not talent, but a system that captures the growth of the entire economy. For the silent investor, that engine is the S&P 500. Think of the S&P 500 as an elite club. It includes the 500 largest and most successful companies in America. But here's what most people miss. It's dynamic. When a company stops innovating, it gets removed. And when a new leader emerges, it gets added. By owning an S&P 500 index fund, you are not betting on one company or one chief executive. You are owning the entire system itself. You provide capital to companies building the future, and in return, they share their growth with you. Historically, this system has returned about 10% per year on average. After accounting for inflation, that becomes roughly a 7% real return. That may not sound exciting in a world obsessed with overnight gains, but over 30 years, 7% is the difference between financial stress and financial freedom. Now let's run the numbers on your $100. The first decade is what I call the valley of disappointment. After 10 years, your $100 grows to about $259. To most people, this feels like failure. They waited 10 years for that. It took 10 years to gain only an additional $159, which is why most investors quit here. They get bored, they lose patience, and they interrupt the math before it has had a chance to work. If you stay invested, something changes in the second decade. Between year 10 and year 20, your money starts earning return on top of return, which is called compound interest. By year 20, that original $100 grows to about $672. Did you notice the shift? The growth accelerates without you doing anything extra. Between year 20 and year 30, the curve goes vertical. That same $100 grows to approximately $1,744. In the final 10 years alone, your investments grow more than it did in the first 20 years combined. This is why wealthy people appear to get richer faster. They aren't smarter, they're simply further along the curve. But there are silent killers that try to steal this growth: taxes and inflation. In a standard brokerage account, the government takes a portion every time you sell or earn income, and this is called tax drag. Over 30 years, tax drag can quietly erase a large share of your returns. That's why the silent investor uses shields. Accounts like Roth IRA allows your money to grow without being reduced by taxes. The difference between keeping $1,700 and only $1,200 can determine comfort or stress later in life. Inflation is why we don't just save money, we own assets. When you own the S&P 500, you own the companies that raise prices, and when prices goes up, profit goes up. You are no longer a victim of inflation. You are a participant in it. If the math is this reliable, why isn't everyone wealthy? The answer is psychology. Humans feel losses more strongly than gains. Losing $20 hurts more than gaining $20 feels good. This is why people panic during market downturns. The silent investor understands something different. A market decline is not a disaster, it's a sale on future wealth. Ronald Read, A janitor who passed away with $8 million didn't use complex strategies. He simply stayed invested while others panicked. He understood that the only way to lose is to stop playing. $100 is not just money, it's a seed. Spend it today and you get temporary comfort, but plant it and you buy a future version of yourself, freedom. The math does not require genius, it requires only two things: a start and a finish. Once you see this work, once you watch $100 grow into 150, then 200, something changes. You stop seeing your paycheck as spending money and you start seeing it as a tool to buy freedom. The habit is the hard part, and the growth is the reward. The question isn't whether the market will grow. History has already answered that. The real question is this: are you patient enough to be the silent investor? If you value calm, data driven explanations of how wealth is actually built, consider subscribing. We don't chase hype here, we chase the math. This is the silent investor. Until next time.